Frank, he sits over the fence. He doesn't want to announce his position. Gentlemen, we have to push him. Lazima announce. Where do you stand?
I stand here where I have a responsibility of guiding the people who are in this panel as far as law is concerned and delivery of service in regards to what the Constitution envisages them to do is concerned. And I will preach that gospel up until 2027 and even beyond. Thereafter wakishindwa na kazi nao nitakuja.
There's something he's saying.
He's attacking and defending at the same time.
He has made a start. That don't force him into this shaky water. Yeah.
He doesn't want it.
Yeah. He'll
Okay.
come when it is settled.
The one talking is Omwami. Everybody calls you Omwami now.
Yes.
Wafula Mutacho. He's the Ford Kenya chairperson. Nzoia County is also eyeing Saboti constituency seat, right?
Yes, yes.
Exactly. We wish all the best as well.
Thank
and
you.
next to him is Member of Parliament representing the people of Nandi Hills. Weshimiwa Bedan Kitur. Karibu.
Thank you very much, Victor, and good morning, viewers. Great again to be here. It's been a while.
Yes.
Yes.
Good to see you as well.
Excited to be here.
Let's start with you. On the front pages of the local dailies and straight to the Daily Standard. Is there panic in the valley?
None. Those are just creations of the media. A few journalists who have been, they are configured, they have been advised. They have always, Standard, you always know their view of government and other business deals behind that has made them always anything that is negative is what they would want to always project. All the positive things that the government is doing, they are always deaf and numb and blind to it. I was in those events where generally we've been advising our communities to register. Just as even this morning, I would encourage every Kenyan to indeed register themselves to participate in this very important exercise coming in 2027. I was in that event where it's claimed that the head of public service did mention, just as he's been advising the community and everybody else and every Kenyan, that please register yourselves and participate in the next forthcoming general election. So there's nothing to talk about panic in the valley because of the Olkalau elections. Olkalau elections was just, by-elections was just one of the small by-elections. We've done
Was it one
10.
of the small by-elections?
Yes, exactly. We've done close to 10 by-elections where broad-based government, UDA, Kenya Kwanza, and broad-based government has been able to win 9 out of 10. So the one in Olkalau, we are giving too much clout for no apparent reason at all. It was just one of the by-elections that we probably may have lost it, but there is nothing so much to worry. No absolute cause for worry.
Okay.
Yes.
Daktari, one of those by-elections that probably they might, his word is so, is quite poetic.
Yeah.
They might have just lost it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want, good morning once again, and thank you for having me. I want to disagree with Mheshimiwa and say that there is not just panic in the valley, but there is panic of gigantic proportions. And that is why you see now everything is helter-skelter. You cannot in any way demean the results of Olkalau by-election. These are people speaking. And these are people speaking loudly about many things. One about a political party called UDA, which they're saying this is not our party. This is not our party anymore. And then it's also really, however you want to look at it, it's a vote of no confidence. All right. Don't just say it's just one of those by-elections that the government might have lost. It's also telling us that we've had many narratives and theory. And we've heard, for example, that President William Ruto has never lost an election.
Yes.
This was his own election. He invested heavily in Olkalau by-election, but he lost. And it's not just a win. We're also looking at the numbers. We are looking at 35,000 people, all right, who said no to this government, to UDA, to President William Ruto, against just about 5,000. So we cannot in any way demean or look down the by-election of Olkalau. These are people speaking and speaking loudly, and this is also really going to give us the trajectory in towards 2027. What are the issues to discuss? Why are people disappointed? And like I've said, it's a vote of no confidence, one, to unmet promises. It's a vote of no confidence by people who are saying, you betrayed our own, all right? When Rigathi Gachagua, my party leader, was impeached, the word was that I was going to be forgotten in 2 weeks.
Yes.
Now people are shocked that the man they thought would be forgotten in 2 weeks is now the man that everybody is looking up to. is now the man in the mountain that all of us really are looking up to in terms of political direction and so on. So we cannot in any way say that it was just that other by-election. And I want to challenge the government brigade.
Yes.
They're talking about 9 by-election, but if you look at the cumulative numbers, all right, the cumulative numbers in terms of how many people voted for them versus how many people voted against them, we still have the numbers.
In all the 9?
In all the 9.
Okay, what are the numbers?
Now bringing All Kalau to 10.
Yes.
If you look at the numbers, forget about, for example, the Mbeere North, all right? They might have, they may say they won, but it was a difference of about 500 votes in Mbeere North. All right? But here we're talking about a difference of 30,000. Those are numbers. Numbers don't lie. Numbers, like I said in the other show, numbers are really the reference point when it comes to politics. So I think there is great panic, and I want to agree with Felix Kosgei that it is, they're calling it a monumental threat, all right, that has begun in All Kalau, and that is exactly how it's going to be. And I don't see how things are going to change.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Victor.
Yes.
I think we should not allow such kind of narratives to be peddled, because those are pure lies. You don't come from the Rift Valley. I do come from the Rift Valley.
We read
It is
from
my
the
turn to
newspapers.
respond to you.
We read from the newspaper.
We all listen to you when you're speaking, so you better be quiet.
Go ahead.
Listen, we've had 9 by-elections from across the country. The ones that is trying to refer is the one from probably,
Mbeere North.
Mbeere North, all right? So, do you know where their position? This one was in the region where probably tribalism is actually been one of the rooted narrative that is quite unfortunate for this nation. This is a nation that we want to unite our country. And the other 9, if you want to study it well, even several other places, DCP could not be able to put up their candidate in those places, okay? So you don't reduce the entire nation to a particular region. And that is why they are shouting. They are like a chicken which has just laid an egg. You are talking about us like a cow gives milk to the entire nation, and we don't shout too much. So this is just one of the small things that just happened, as I indicated, but it has no relation whatsoever for what is going to happen in 2027. Let me tell you, Victor, in 2027, it is going to be a country battling between a president who gave an agenda, he gave a manifesto. Has he been able to deliver the manifesto? Across the country right now, we are talking about development every corner. And when they come, they just want to talk about a fellow who failed in his job, he was not even able to finish his quarter term. He was kicked out, not by government, but by parliament, right? And now, the only thing he can do is to reduce himself into a particular region, play with the minds of the particular section of our country and tell them we are being attacked. No. In fact, let me tell you, the candidate who won it All Kalau, President William Ruto, I can tell you, is more than even willing to work with him to bring development, because the president to bring development, even in All Kalau, just as been doing in every corner of this country. Not a favor. And therefore, I'm talking, Dr. Harris, so please be patient. So finally, I just wanted to tell you, my friend, please rise above tribalistic lenses, and let's discuss this thing from a country's perspective. And for the record, right, Rift Valley, we are settled. You saw if the results were released by IEBC, if I want to go that direction and say of the 24 million Kenyans who've so far registered to participate in the elections, if you want to try and go to that, if I want to reduce myself to the level of Daktari's position, and try to look at the tribalistic nature of analyzing things, let me tell you, my friend,
just a point.
Well set.
Just a point, Victor.
I open this field because
it's an important one.
Okay.
Emurua Dikir, the results of that by-election, we had 10,000 people voting for DCP. What does that say? What does that tell us? Because he now wants to reduce the conversation.
Against how many?
Against about 17,000.
Okay.
So 10,000, forget about that win. So, you have 10,000. So are you saying that they're also tribalistic? Are you calling the 10,000 who voted for DCP in Emurua Dikir, are they Kikuyus?
No. Okay. Well, I don't
because,
no.
I'm just, it's a conversation. Because you have reduced that conversation to tribalism.
Right?
All right?
Bring the entire
no, it's about particular cases.
And 7,000
it's about
is not a small number.
But
all right?
10,000?
There is an issue. There is an issue that is happening in Emurua Dikir, a sense of some rebellion. So let's not talk
So
about
how
that.
comes
one,
now there are issues
but we are
everywhere?
still talking about a 7,000 difference in that particular respect.
Forget about the difference.
Therefore,
Let's talk about the
bring
10,000.
on the entire 8 by-elections. All right.
So
if
what
you
is
want to
wrong
have
with
a
the
proper
Mukuru?
analysis,
How important, gentlemen, how important was this? How important was this by-election? Frank, good morning. How important was this by-election?
You know, Victor, I told you the last time that the mountain and the Rift Valley are now in loggerheads. But we in the Abagusi land, we are very peaceful.
I see what you're trying to do.
And you can see how peaceful we are in this bench.
I see what you're trying to do. Go ahead. Go ahead.
And even the people from Western,
Yes.
they are here. You can see how chilled they look in this, in all this. But then we must not forget that Kenya is one. We must not forget that Kenyans are going to run into an election. That we must not forget that the people are not the same 5 years ago,
Yes.
3 years ago, and they're not going to be the same 2 years to come, and even next year. But then the question that we always want to ask ourselves is that the leaders who are, for example, those who are in this panel, what are they going to present to the people? How are they going to ensure that what Mheshimiwa and Mheshimiwa are saying about tribalism is not a subject of discussion come the elections? We move forward as a nation, knowing that we are one people and speaking ideology to mwananchi in terms of service delivery. Not who comes from where, not who comes from what. I think Kenyans are one, and Kenya is just one country. We don't have any other place to go. We need to fix our minds in the realm of development and growth and inspiration that comes genuinely from what the Constitution gives us. It gives us the diversity. It tells us that we are one people. It gives us the unity in terms of the presidency. It gives us a lot of things that we need to embrace.
You speak so well, but when it comes 2027, you know what happens.
And that's
all
why,
gates will be open.
And that's why I'm here telling Mheshimiwa and Mheshimiwa that we need to cool down. We need to be sober even as we walk into this election so that we ensure that we are not the, let me say, the fuel that brings about violence that has been sensed. We need to be the people to tell the greater masses that, you know, we are one nation, we are one Kenya, we are one country. We must look at this country beyond elections.
Okay. Sounds easy, but politically I don't think Mheshimiwa Bidari Kitur will take it.
It's called ideal situation.
Ideal situation. Omwami, are you peaceful?
Yeah, we are peaceful. Why are you laughing? You have just finished your little celebration in Oloo.
wow.
So that was just, in fact, they are first member of parliament.
Oh yes, that is why.
So they must celebrate, my friend. Don't take them
It's a
mission.
political party that is 12 months old.
Just one
Give it to
parliamentary
us.
seat.
Jumping all over.
Yes, they
give
must
it to
celebrate
us.
like
We are 12 months old.
our first birthday to a kid. So they must celebrate. But all in all, Victor, what I just want to say, and you remember last time when I was here, I said that this country, we invest a lot of time and money in politics. So much. I wish this issue of campaign could start somewhere toward the end of this year. That could be fair. But immediately we finish last
And you are
general
campaigning.
election.
And, no, and you are campaigning already for Saboti.
Me, I'm just doing some development, not campaigning.
So what is that?
Not campaigning. You know, when I'm called to fundraise something, I come as a member of that community or that place. So that is not campaigning. It's generous giving. Victor. So what I want to say is this, Victor.
The government in Oloo was also generously giving.
Yeah, that was generous giving. But no, that was campaigning because it was a time for campaigning. It was an election, yeah. But now, Victor, towards 2027 election, I'm actually shocked by most of the utterances coming from leaders at this point of an hour, before even we approach election. these utterances are very, very dangerous. I don't want it to take us to that scenario of 207 again.
Which utterances?
That,
We need to condemn it. Yes.
Yeah, that people will take up responsibility of, if the government don't want to take up the responsibility of security, people will take up the security responsibility. That was very wrong. Utterances like that one, leaders, any leader has followers. Any leader has followers. If you give out such utterances to people, people will arm themselves. And the scenario of 207 will come back again, more than even that. I've been in several missions of peace missions. I've seen and I've studied how a civil war comes, erupts, and how it started. So we don't want our peaceful country to go to that direction. And I urge the responsible bodies at least to be active toward this time of election.
Yes.
Yes, we love this country. And that is why sometimes, and in most cases, Victor, I've told you, even I got US for like 2 weeks, I feel like I've lost a lot. I don't even finish 2 weeks. I come back immediately because so many events are taking over in this country.
Yeah.
Now I want to be around to see what is moving forward, the changes. That is what we want to do in Kenya.
And Victor,
allow me maybe to maybe respond to a bit to Wafula Mutacho. And for the record, there were concerns that were raised by the chairperson of the IEBC just before the elections, the by-elections, that he was concerned about the security and what probably would have been happening in Oloo. And you know very well, and just to give also an assurance to my good debater, a fantastic man, Ford Kenya chairperson in Nzoia, that the way the government provided enough security, there were enough officers in Oloo, is the same thing that is going to happen in 2027.
Yes.
There will be sufficient security. The aspect of probably trying to fight Honorable Kipchumba Murkomen, the man who has been able to even silence the Rift Valley in terms of the places, the North Rift, where we had some serious challenges of insecurity, but he's been able to manage it completely. And it's worse off than, it was worse off. It was, every time it was shedding blood. To give an assurance that in 2027, there is going to be enough security. There will not be bloodshed or violence the time that we are going to have these elections. Those of they that are now trying to weave narratives of saying that, the league of my friend Dr. Antony, whom I really wish him very well, is a fantastic, brilliant young person. I would love to have him in Parliament in the next House. Just to know that even as you try to fund this tribalistic, archaic, scaremongering, that there is going to be some, violence in our country. I want to assure you, if there is anything to go by, look at what happened in Oloo. Despite the fact that I can see all this news being peddled around, and I agree with DCI, nobody has gone to report that we have this, somebody happened to this. These are just the normal machinations and creation stories that happen. You even remember, that is where they've been hovering on. They don't want to talk about the serious issues of development and all those kinds of things. They just want to go into rumor mongering. Just to give an assurance to all Kenyans, we are going to have a peaceful election.
Very good. All right, so with or without any complainant, let's just condemn it. What happened in Oloo should not happen, honestly. Who did men firing tear gas and all that? That was so scary.
And Victor,
and these sort of people can come from, it can even come from Dr. Kitonga's DCP.
And Victor was saying that,
just a minute. Next to you is Omwami, and you know where he comes from.
Yes.
So I want to serve him tea.
All right. But you see, we are calling for all the actors.
A quick break.
We're calling for all the actors to be responsible.
Yes, stay with us.
That's fine.
We are back. Welcome back. Mom is now happy.
Yes, I'm okay.
Very good.
Though it is hot water,
so all of us
sounds me good.
Very nice. So all of us have gained because of you.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much. Wafula Mutacho is for the Kenya chairperson, Nzoia County, and Honorable Kitur, Member of Parliament, Nandi Hills Constituency. Antony Gitonga is a political analyst. He's also eyeing of their constituency, and Frank Nyamari, advocate of the High Court of Kenya. So let's go. Before you took a break, you wanted to say something, Antony.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I think there is a bigger picture that we are missing, which we must call out as a country. And this is the issue of, yes, Mheshimiwa has spoken very well about security. I think first, security is not a privilege, it's a right. All of us as Kenyans are entitled to security, to safer environments, to be able to do business, to be able to run our things. But this issue of goonism and gangs is something that we must really condemn. It was not entirely secure in Oloo. I was there, all right? We lost 2 men in that by-election. We have people coming in serious vehicles, in balaclovas and masks, all right? Trying to scare everybody. Shooting around, it's like Oloo was Haiti, it's like Kenya has become Haiti. That is something that we must call out. That is something we must condemn. And the saddest thing is that we haven't seen anybody in government condemn this. Now, what they're telling us is that there's nobody who is going to file a complaint.
The CS condemned that.
All right? Yes. No, it is not right. We must see action. It happened in Wetima, remember? All right? These people, these goons being brought to a church in a police vehicle, nothing has happened. Nothing has ever happened to date. We have seen it in many towns. The other day, we saw the same men stopping traffic along Thika Road. What country are we in? We saw the same men in balaclovas getting into a hotel in General Mathenge and stealing from everybody. Now, how do you explain in serious Prados and vehicles, you have people standing on the rooftop of vehicles and shooting? It's like a war zone. That is a very dangerous indicator if that is how things are going to be in 2027. We must call it out, we must condemn it, and we must demand for peace and safety in our country.
I think that's a good point.
You know, in most cases, when incidents of that kind happens, people condemn the police so much. Not knowing that the police, if they are not there, those rowdy people take advantage so much.
Yeah.
You remember the time of Mungeki, even it was so difficult. And the people who were suffering so much on Mungiki came from the same region.
Correct.
And they were unable to conduct their business peacefully. They were actually making some toll payments from them. Now, if we condemn the police at most, and we can't give them time to work, then if they retreat, Victor, I'm telling you, this country and those gangs, you will see them and will not have peace in this country.
And also it goes further to say that an election is a process. And in that process, there are players. And those players, every person must be responsible for their duties.
Yeah.
There has been a talk of Sisi Tutalinda Kura. The question is, whose responsibility is it to ensure that the sacredness of the ballot is safeguarded? Whose responsibility is it to ensure that there is no violence, the election is free, it is fair, it is credible, it can be verifiable? Whose responsibility it is? Because that is what we talk about when it's about elections.
Yes.
And if those questions are not clear, then we will be experiencing the things that we are experiencing now.
And that
it goes further.
Even as you also respond to that, Mheshimiwa, and I like the way you put it, that every person mandated to do something,
yes,
there's a JD, job description.
Correct. We begin with the IEBC because they
police
have been mandated to ensure that elections are being conducted in this Republic of Kenya. And there are others, the security agencies, the judiciary, there are others. Every person must take responsibility for their duties.
Let me take a bit different tangent on this. I've had Dr. Antony Gitonga talking about, some goons who were on the road. They blocked Thika Road at some point, which I think they were also equally dealt with by the serious security officers to make sure our nation is safe. But also, even if I challenge here Dr. Antony and ask him, there are people, all these politicians do have some people they work with, whom they defend them so much, some sort of, a security that then tends to turn out to be the goons you're talking about, because they have also they want to protect their territory. Even Dr. here, Antony Gitonga, Let him not talk like a saint. I can tell you, when he goes back in the village, he has a team of people, and some of these people, sometimes you cannot even control them. And that is why goons, no, listen, that is why goons...
Of course, security is paramount.
That is why goons...
But they are not this kind of militia.
Very good.
You see, that is why goons...
He's just confirmed that security is paramount.
I tell you,
but they are not armed.
I tell you.
Peaceful young men.
Right? So they emanate many times from the politicians themselves, all right? And I want to finally agree with Wafula. The work that the police officers are doing, the security officers of our nation are doing, they also deserve to be appreciated and saluted for. It would be worse off than, you know, so
when
they're doing a great job.
So
what we just need to do is, yes, it's still good to still appreciate and still correct where we think we are not doing good, so that we can be better off.
This is basically focusing on the elections. There's a political and elections behavior in the country. And that brings me to what you're seeing, the political intentions versus expectations. And we all know how everything changes within a very short time. What do you think is expectation, Omwami? Because the intention of you running for Saboti parliamentary seat is quite different from what the watu wa Saboti wanatafuta kutoka kwako, right? So it's about, you said yesterday, it's about promises versus?
Delivery.
Delivery, simply put. When you look at all this, Omwami, let me start with you. What do you think is the whole game plan? Because you're going to see a lot of expectations.
Yeah, you know, Victor, towards election, people promise so much. But delivery, by the end of the day, it depends. With one elected, the intention and the achievement. That is what we count. But like me now, when I'm elected as member of parliament for Saboti, I know the problem of people of Saboti that they are facing. And I'll go straight to solve those problems. And that is the expectation from the people of Saboti. Like for the nation, Kenyans, they have their expectations. I've read this paper, this one, Victor, allow me to show you. 100,000 teachers hired in 3 years. I remember my daughter finished a university and he was out of employment for almost 6 years. That's my daughter. Anyway, because I have some little cash from somewhere, she can do 1, 2, 3 things. What about those people who don't have? This is the expectation of so many people who had their children finished education, teaching, and what have you. They were expecting to get employment so that they can also survive from the income. This is the expectations of Kenyans. That's one. Two, ask me, and I remember there is a time, Victor, I told you I slept in somewhere near from Naivasha towards Nairobi, somewhere near, is it called Sokomjinga, somewhere there. The jam on the road. We spent the whole night there. What is the expectation from the people from Western Uasin Gishu, Rift Valley, that end towards Nairobi, when they face such scenario? We want the government that can ease this problem at this particular time. That is the expectations of Kenyans. The third one, Victor, we want health care. Health care is paramount. We cannot live without good, proper range to health care. This is what expectations of Kenyans are looking for. And I'm happy because sometimes we juggle around with the health of people. And more, I will take example from my county. My county, we are facing a lot of problems in health. This is a fact. Victor, every half an hour, 2 hours, you will see an ambulance coming from Nzoia, heading to Eldoret, taking a patient to Eldoret Referral Hospital.
Yes, MTRH.
Yes. In the next minute, you will see another one. Those people going to Eldoret Referral Hospital, 80% comes in caskets. The hospital that we were expecting that some of us, we grew up level 5, that was the district hospital of Kitale. It was closed by the governor. Simply, the reason being, watu wanaiba dawa kwa hiyo hospitali, it is next to so many chemists there. The knowledge of putting precautions of protecting the medicine of the hospital is not there. So you transfer this hospital to another hospital far, which is in a small, around 3-acre land, very small. Now, when you go there, the hospital is not equipped.
Yep.
Now, finally, you find people going there, they don't survive. Health, Victor, is paramount, and that is the expectation. So, that is an example in Nzoia, but I know very well it cuts across the country. So we have so many things. These are primary things that, Victor, when we are heading towards election, these are the things that we want to put mission on.
Very good. Mheshimiwa, are campaign promises realistic?
Yes, they are. Campaign promises are realistic if you want to take the nexus with what President William Samoei Ruto promised Kenyans.
What about as an individual?
Delivering. Just listen.
Okay.
That's why you have asked a question, and I've told you, yes, it is possible if you want to see it from the larger scale, because if I have to explain to you about mine, I'll be talking about my own constituency. But if I have to talk that which all Kenyans, those watching us, can be able to relate with, from the national perspective, when you can easily now look at what the Kenya Kwanza government, which we all ascribe to, most of us ascribe to, I do ascribe to, now the broad-based government, all the promises, the manifesto that we put in place, Victor, is what now in the next few months, probably in the next 1, 2, 3 months, that is what we will be now explaining to Kenyans. Each of us in our own levels, so this MCA will be explaining, this is what I promised you, this is what I'm delivering. Who set that foundation? It is President William Samoei Ruto. When he said, if you are seeking for a seat, come with a manifesto, give the promise to the people, then do the delivery, what you even had Honorable Member talking about a few minutes ago, whether you're talking about equitable distribution of development across the country. And I was really touched by what he mentioned, for instance, that you open up even regions like the Rift Valley with a 6-lane road. We had never seen this for all that time through. It's only one region that enjoyed the resources of our country, where whether you are talking about dueling of the road and those kinds of things, it was to one place of this nation. But now there is this redistribution, fair redistribution of resources across, and many other things. So, is it realistic? Yes, sir, it is realistic. I have the promises that I made. I'll be going back to my people and explaining to them, this is what I promised you, this is what I deliver. Now, it will be up to people to say, did you do it well or not? If not, they will hear about the manifesto of my competitors and see, my competitors might be saying, this is what Honorable Member, sitting member did promise. He was not able to deliver. So this is what I'm coming to do. So Kenya now has gone into a level, and by the way, we are way above, even in Africa, in terms of the democratic processes and, and towards these elections, that will be electing people who are competent enough to say, this is what I promised, this is what I've delivered. Those of they that are saying, this is what he promised, he didn't deliver, this is what I'm coming to deliver, if you give me the chance to be able to participate in the election.
Yes. We all know that the electoral behavior of this country is that Kenyans do tend to vote out leaders.
Yeah.
Why? Based on the question I'm asking.
Yeah. Promises are important.
Because of promises delivered.
Promises are very important when it comes to an election. Because just like my good friend Mheshimiwa is saying, you need to have an engagement with the people. You need to promise them 1 or 2, 3 other things, all right? And then you need once elected into office, so you need to do those things. That's why I want to disagree with the chairman here, that it's not a celebration, it's not Christmas party when the government does what it's supposed to do, because it's exactly why they were elected into office. There is no celebration when a government comes and ensures there's medicine in a hospital, because that's their job. There is no celebration. We shouldn't have a Christmas party when we are having a road being dualed, because it's the right. That's why they're in office. No, I mean, let's be fair. Then why are you in office?
Victor, allow us
then why are you in office? No, let me finish. No, allow me. No, allow me to finish. Allow me to finish.
It is very important,
allow me to finish. Allow me. You had your time. You had your time. Allow me.
to Kampala
No.
not dual.
But
and you see
there
the
is no
road
party
from
because that's why they're elected into
to
office.
Mount Kenya is dual carriage. It's not
let me finish. Let me finish. Victor, you need to protect me here. Let me finish. No. I disagree.
Order, Chairman.
I disagree. Because the reason why Kenya Kwanza was elected into office is because of such a promise.
Why do you say it's not a Christmas party?
Because it's exactly what they're supposed to do. It's like the expectation of a parent providing to their children. It is expected. The reason why Kenya Kwanza was elected and not Azimio is because of such a promise.
Okay.
So there is no party to it. But let me finish.
Just a minute.
It's exactly what they're supposed to do. That's why they're elected into office. That's why we didn't have Wajakoya being elected as president. That's why we didn't have Raila Odinga being elected as president. Allow me. Protect me.
Daktari is a very good defender of his people.
No, which people now? I'm talking about government and promises.
For this country, defender for this country, Daktari, you are not. You are good. You are good defender of your people.
No.
That one is good, Daktari.
I'm going to stick to my point.
The thing is,
allow me to finish my point. Allow me to finish my point. I will agree. Because election is a contract. When you're elected into office, there are very specific things that you're elected to do. So when you do them, it's not supposed to be another Christmas party, because that's why you're elected. And I've given an example. The reason why President William Ruto was elected to office is because of those promises. So when he does them, there is no celebration, because that is why Raila Odinga was never elected, Wajakoya was never elected. So please give us a break. He's doing exactly the contract that was given by the people.
The elections, President Uhuru's promise before election, if he did it. He didn't promise to extend Thika Road from Thika to Nyeri. He didn't promise that. But when he was in the throne, he continued that road to Nyeri.
And there's no
that
harm.
was not in his campaign.
As a good student, as a good leader, you go beyond. You go beyond expectation. That's leadership.
All right.
That's leadership. I haven't finished my point, Victor. Allow me. There are more things, all right? Much as we talk about whether the promises have been met, the other things we need to ask ourselves, whether are these things that are happening, are they the things that you promised, all right? We're talking about fundamental right to life, for example. Today we have seen that when young people come up and they demand for opportunities, they are met with such brutality and terror, you know, and we have even seen on June 25th, 2024, a lot of our young people were killed. Is that exactly what we asked for? No. Today we are talking about a country where all employees are really crying because of overtaxation. Is that a promise that was made? No. We're talking about these hooded men and goons and insecurity in our country. Those are the things that Kenyans will also look at in 2027. Right. It's not just about a road, a hospital, and medicine. It's also about safety and security and rights to life.
I promise you might lose them out Kenya.
I'm talking about
if you argue like this,
no. For me, forget about the people. We are talking about facts and figures. We are talking about what is the reality on the ground.
Because I can see the mountain coming into picture.
I'm not here to say things that
Victor,
about facts.
Can I?
Victor, I see the mountain coming into picture.
Okay. Yes, Wakili.
No, we advocates.
The reason why I put you there, there is a reason why I put you there.
We advocates don't like people to heckle against each other.
It's not heckling, it's a fact.
It's highly recommendable that we speak to each other in a softer way as we drive our points home.
Yeah.
Now, the Constitution is crafted in a manner that the expectations, or rather the promises that are made by the politicians are also realistic in terms of the expectations from Mwananchi. And so there is a gap.
So there's a balance.
There is a gap between the promises and the delivery. So the Constitution is seeking, how do we bridge this gap to ensure that whatever the politician says is exactly what Mwananchi gets. That's the balance that we all need to strike. And I like what Daktari is saying, that the expectations of people in the Constitution, they have been reduced into rights. For example, the right to education, the right to health care, the right to housing. And I'm happy for President William Ruto for bringing rolling out the housing project. Because that is a right.
I know.
That is a right. So now, what needs to be done is to ensure that those rights, the state and the government of the day has a duty to ensure that they are protected and they are realized. The manner of realizing them, or rather the manner of protecting them, is what brings the difference in this table. That some
and the priorities.
that some are using force, others want it to be implemented in a reasonable manner without using force. So how do we move forward as a country such that we don't fight amongst ourselves as we seek to bring development, or rather realize the rights that citizens have been given in the Constitution? That is the question that we need to ask ourselves. I'll be happy if the two leaders, or the three leaders in this panel, can focus on protecting the rights as given by the Constitution of Kenya 2010.
Mheshimiwa, how do we measure success? Because you said there is a gap between the expectations and
Promises.
exactly. So how do we measure this success? Because in the next couple of months, the people of Nandi Hills will put you on the weighing scale.
Yes, sir.
So how do we measure this success, but now on the national platform? Because me as Wanjiku, or Wanjiku out there, has a lot of expectations.
Correct. Thank you very much. Even as I respond to that, allow me just to reiterate, or even have a contrary opinion to what Dr. Ari just tried to allude, that when people celebrate because they see delivery, many times when I call open projects, Victor, of what people have been expecting, for instance, the electricity, like my county never got any scheme between 2017 to 2022, because my community was thought to be aligned to the former deputy president at that time, the current president, and therefore we were completely blacklisted. No tarmac road that was made in my county in that period, no electricity. So when now this was being done, just as it's being done across the nation, what do you expect people to do? They celebrate. When these 100,000 teachers are being hired, historic, it has never happened.
No, maybe Victor has not seen it properly.
And for Victor also to know,
let me show
there are
you.
another
100,000 teachers hired in 3 years.
Right.
This is
I saw
historic.
it,
but it is expected.
Victor sees it properly.
Historic.
This is historic.
So,
But it is
do you
expected.
expect
Not
us to
from
be-
where?
That is why
people have
Do you
not.
expect
government
us
was
to
elected.
sulken?
Okay.
Do you expect all of us to mourn when such a thing like this is happening? Historic. It never happened in the other regimes and governments, when there is redistribution of development fairly across the nation. Go to Northeastern. Things that we never would have ever imagined, that there is so much value in that region. The current government has been able to open up that part of the country. Go to Mombasa, you see so much development happening. Go to Turkana, the same thing is happening. Go to Nyanza, the same thing is happening. In the previous time, it was only one region that was getting this fairly large share of development, you know. But so when people appreciate, go to the housing program. Look, don't just look at the houses that are being built. Look at the young people who have been able to get jobs in that place. Look at the president of the Republic of Kenya, who is even now giving young people, you know, they train young people and they give them capital to be able to start, you know, business through a program called Nyota, for instance. People are removed from CRB that was killing young people. You are being blocked. You are not able to access credit for you to be able to grow. So these are the measures that Kenyans will be, the yardstick that Kenyans are going to use to be able to say, this is what you promised. In fact, I can tell you, for instance, you asked me to talk about the national scale. Trust you me, when the push will come to shove, or when the rubber will meet the road, in terms of explaining what the promises that the national government, I mean President William Ruto, for instance, because I am aligned 100%, because I believe in his agenda, his manifesto, when he will be able now to explain what he's been able to do. And by the way, about 3-4 months ago, President William Ruto invited all of us members of UDA to go and explain to us, just to ask us, are we on the right track? This is what we promised Kenyans. This is what we've been able to deliver as a political party. And that is when I was talking about that President William Ruto has changed the politics of our country into, for instance, if you belong to a political party, there must be a manifesto that you stand for.
Yes.
What is it that you stand for? What is it that you promised? What is it that you've delivered? And Kenyans will be able to see that. Now, when it will come to my case in Nandi Hills, Victor, there are a couple of things that I was told clearly by the people of Nandi Hills. There's a road called Himaki Nandi Hills Road, that this road, if you don't do it, then forget. There was, for instance, the university called Koital Samoei University. And there is the issue of, in fact, I was given a program for water There's one called Keben Dam, and there's water for the entire of Nandi town, among several others, projects about institutions, schools that needs to be expanded. So those are the things that when I even going to every polling station, every polling station is a promise I made to them. Have I delivered, or how far am I in the delivery of that particular promise that I made?
And that's so now the question of how we measure success.
Yes. That social contract is actually existing. It is there. It is in the minds of the people. And I'm telling you, with the elevated model of politics in our country, some of you will really have some hard work, because now he has to, Dr. Gitonga here, has to go back to Othaya and just give his own manifesto vis-a-vis are people believing in the current member of parliament or the vision that he has for the people of Othaya. Just as is for the member of parliament, the Saboti aspirant here, he will have also a duty. He has his own manifesto. How far has the current member of parliament been able to do his job? So I agree with you. Yes, there are promises, and there will be yardstick to use for us to be able then to be elected. Basically, on the basis of a manifesto.
Just to just at one point, Victor. Okay. Like in the Saboti, since in the Saboti constituency, right now, since independence, Victor. And I know when we got independence, that is 1960-something. Up to date, we've never had a tarmac road. The constituency of Saboti. Oloo, the constituency of Saboti. But now, the President Ruto has put a contractor, a road from Tarbo, passing Sikhendu, Saboti, and the base, joining to Swam. It is fantastic.
It's in Kitale.
Yes, the first one since independence.
Wow.
It's a dreamline.
Where were this money all this time through?
I'm telling you, sometimes we don't throw stones without knowing the type of dog you are throwing to. Be careful. So let us go slowly, Victor. Things are changing. I believe things are changing.
Yes. Okay. All right. So
I want to reiterate.
Based on the success rate.
Yes. And I'm a leader who believes in giving credit where it's due. Fair. But I want to say that again, that election is a very important profession. And it's a contract to engage the people, Mheshimiwa. And I agree with you that manifesto is important to have that manifesto. But Kenyans have also become very empowered, and that is why you see now political leadership getting into delivery. Because they know that if you don't deliver, it's going to come to another election, and they're going to ask you difficult questions, all right? It is the role of government, it is the role of elected leaders to be able to deliver their promises to the people, all right? And I must give it that, I'm not saying that there's nothing happening, but I'm saying it doesn't call that for us, we need now to stop everything and start celebrating. We just need to say that is exactly why you're in office, please continue to do it. And if there's anything else that requires to be done, please do it, because that is fundamentally why you're in office. And that is why you won an election, Mheshimiwa, because of that manifesto, all right? And that is why you won the election, because of the manifesto. So when you start to do, don't expect us now to get into praise and worship. It's exactly why you're getting into, I mean, let's be fair. I mean, I will stick. It's only fair.
Victor is that he is actually the praises, because he knows that surely President William Ruto has delivered, no doubt about it.
No.
And though he's
the other thing I've asked,
because that is what he's expected to do as a DCP member, he's not supposed to really sing this tune, because the reality is this government has delivered. They have no option. They will only be just going against that, and he doesn't want us to celebrate on account of the fact that he's expected that should not happen. But
there's a question I want to ask.
I like the fact that he's appreciating.
There is a question I want to ask all of you, because there is this important person we should not wish away: the voter. The voter, because all of you, apart from Frank here, Wakili, will face that person.
Correct.
So how do you tell that person that I deserve to be in that office? It's just a very simple question, based on the expectation and the intentions.
Number one.
How do you tell that person?
Number one, and that is why I'm in DCP. Our role fundamentally is to listen and to engage the people, all right? To listen and to engage the people, because when you're elected into office, you don't go to do your own things. You go to do things as per the needs, the aspirations, the desires of the electorate, all right? So it is important that first you engage them And you have a good example, Mhesh, because you're already elected into parliament. So at some point, ulisikiza ground. Now umetuambia hapa vizuri that there is a road that you need to do. There is water, there is electricity, because you listened. And success will be measured on exactly whether that engagement, that listening happened, and whether those projects have been delivered. And that is why I'm in DCP. Because what we want to do when we take over government in 2027 is to respond to the needs, the aspirations of the people. And the people are saying the taxes are too much. People are saying there is safety and security is now wanting in our country. We want, even if we have roads, even if we have medicine, we want to live in a peaceful environment. We want to be sure that we can see tomorrow. I don't want to get into Nairobi streets and all the people I meet are hooded and businesses are being looted everywhere. That is not what I want. I want peace, I want safety, and I want an environment that guarantees right to life today, tomorrow, for me, for my children.
All right. Okay, Victor. Just a minute. The reason why I'm asking these questions is because there is the policy implementation. When you want to deliver, you have to talk to Mwananchi, the voter, you have to explain, because there is that cycle of election right now. And every politician is going to give his or her manifesto. That is very true. Correct. Kitur is going to come with this report card and the scorecard. You know, I've done this, I've done that, I've done this. But the question that you as a voter should ask yourself is whether the promises that were made 5 years ago have been met. All right? That's number one. The promises that are being made right now will be realized. And the question, Mheshimiwa Kitur, you said that there are certain roads that you promised. There are certain projects that you promised. Out of 10, what have you, how many of them have you delivered? Out of 10?
I can almost tell you they are all on various stages of progress.
Okay.
All of them, whatever I promised. And leave alone that.
Yes.
And I want to disagree Kidogo with him. You must, it's not just listening to the ground. You must be visionary.
Just hold that thought. Just hold that thought. Umami.
Yes. With me, you know, I'm not the sitting member of parliament, Victor. But what I've done for supporting people, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. And in terms of employment, I've assisted so many to be employed in this government and even in the previous government, but mostly in this government.
Okay.
So, and you know,
what is the mind of that voter that you have empowered them, you have supported in one way or another? What do you think is in the mind of that voter?
You know, these people, they want accountability.
Very good. Go ahead.
These people want accountability, especially when they know that this money is theirs. They want you to communicate very well.
And that voter is even in Lamu.
Yes.
All right?
And they know that their money is properly accounted. If not, they'll come vigorously against you. That is how Mwananchi is feeling right now. If you don't deliver, people will come against you as a member of parliament, as a governor. That one is very much open. And I'm realizing that one on the ground. As we talk right now, the county of Nzoia cannot move.
Okay,
why? I'm giving an example. I'm just giving an example.
No, let's just widen. I'll be put on the spot to
No, I'm just giving an example. I'm not saying that.
That's why I've given you.
I'm just giving an example. Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
And like now, let me come the way you want. Like now, the expectation in this paper, you can see allocations, not allocations, the employed teachers.
Yeah, distribution.
Distribution, actually. Kitui, where Kalonzo comes from, 4,276.
Very good.
Teachers were employed in Kitui. Victor, in Kakamega, that Kakamega population is a bit higher, 4,270.
Correct.
In Bungoma, this one, I don't know, we ignited this one to that figure.
Read what is there.
3,806 were employed in teaching, in TTC. I mean, as teachers. Machakos, where Kalonzo is the bedrock. Of course, the governor is a wiper governor. But you can see 3,356.
Makueni.
The governor is gentle. He got 3,252. Victor, Homa Bay, they didn't vote for Ruto. But they have got 3,225. Kisi, my friend. Even your cousin was employed, I know that. 3,206. Meru, the side of mountain, 3,200.
There is nothing in the Rift Valley.
Narok, 2,900.
Correct.
Then people say that the distribution is not okay. It's really get proper facts before you point fingers to somebody.
Victor, I was trying to drive a message, but I think you bypassed me when I was trying to put on a very important point here. That in as far as you listen to the ground, and I want you to get it right from me, Victor, in as far as you listen to the ground, you must also be visionary. What do I mean by this? It is not just listening to what people are saying. What is it that you can now be able to do to go beyond the expectations of the voters? And that is what even the voters love more. And that is many times I disagree with them. You listen to what people are saying and then retreat back and now see what can I do it to give a better, bigger perspective. When you look at even what Wafula here, Honorable Wafula is reading here, you know, it is going beyond. We didn't promise that they were going to just be 100,000 teachers. But when the President William Ruto got into the seat, he has exceeded expectations, up and including making sure there are equitable distribution of teachers, especially to the regions that are even thought to be, they didn't vote for him. But the President, and in fact there is the Wiper leader was a vice president for this country and has been the big leader, even Minister of Education. But when you go to the region where he represented, there were no teachers. But look at what President William Ruto has been able to do. You exceed expectations. So equally, even for governor, gubernatorial positions, for MCAs, for you, the aspirants, in as far as you want to listen to the ground, when you are addressing the Wananchi, there are those that they will tell you. But what can you do with that to make sure you give a better, bigger projection of what you are able to deliver for the people? So I think that is extremely critical for every aspirant and every, of course, voter who is watching me right now. The leader that you are going to elect in 2027 must be one who should be able to exceed expectations in terms of their ability to deliver and change the lives not only of yourself, but for posterity.
Okay. For the first time in this show.
We're almost landing. We're almost landing.
Yeah.
Almost landing.
Victor, I wanted to say this. Your question was what was in the mind of the voter. And I think in this panel, I can be considered the only voter. The rest are seeking mandates. Now, the Constitution under Article 10 and Chapter 6 gives us what we call leadership and integrity. And I think that is what should be in the minds of any voter who is going to look at an aspirant and be able to make a decision. That in as much as we are going to vote, we are asking ourselves the questions. Are the people that we are voting people of integrity? Are these people who are going to deliver? Are they going to serve the people or they are going to serve themselves? That is the question that we need to ask ourselves. The Bill of Rights, Chapter 4 of the Constitution, gives us, every voter, that which they should demand from any aspirant. In terms of education, in terms of healthcare, in terms of development, in terms of consumer rights, because those are the kind of things that touch into the lives of Mwananchi directly. So as these aspirants are going to the people, the voters should be grounded on constitutional values, principles, rights, so that whenever they are going to face the aspirants, they are aware. And I believe, and I'm happy, that as Kenya is moving forward and nearing elections, Wanjiku is becoming more clever, more informed, more optimistic, that whoever is coming to ask for their vote is a person who can deliver.
Yes.
And I think for the voter, I want to speak directly for the voter, that let the voter be able to understand this constitution so that we don't end up with people who are going to serve themselves in government.
Okay. There's some feedback here. Allow me to read this one. And Mheshimiwa, this is directed to you. So you better listen to it carefully. They say that the MP from Nandi Hill says that the previous government only directed projects to one side. Let him tell us who expanded the road from Nakuru to Mau Summit that reduced death in Sachangwan, Who expanded the road from Maimahiu to Narok? Who did the bypass in Eldoret towards Western Kenya? Who did the roads and flyovers in Kisumu and the roads from Kericho down to Kisumu? Who did the road from Ahero to Sondu? Then to Kericho? He should be factual.
Very well. Let me begin it first of all. Between Nakuru and Mau Summit, there was no road that was expanded. What they did is they put in between a barrier that then would stop. There were so many accidents were happening there. So they just
put such a one stretch.
So they just
like a kilometer.
So they just put some barriers in between just to be able to create that safe haven where vehicles were not able to collide. The other bit that you're talking about, the Nyanza region, look at that. And it was because of the engagement that happened between the former, the late Honorable Baba and Uhuru Kenyatta. When you talk about the 1-2 projects that happened in Eldoret, it was between 2013 and 2017. What I talked about Nandi between 2017 and 2022. No tarmac was done. So I was saying that there was punishment, a serious punishment that was meted on a community on account of the association with the then, so to say, the deputy president. And I stand by it, Victor. A time has come that we tell each other the truth, because that is our past, all right? Our future then says that let's all be equitable and fair enough. Even when you have an opportunity to serve, don't reduce yourself to your regional place where you come from. So I think I've answered that sufficiently.
Okay. All right. Another response is, ambia waheshimiwa Wakenya wameamka.
I agree.
Ambia hawa waheshimiwa.
I agree. Kenyans, we are loyal and we agree.
You've been balkanized.
And Oloo is a good example. Oloo is a good example. And I will absolutely. That is why, for example, Wakenya wameamka is to say that it's not just about tokenism anymore. All right? It's not just about the handouts and the promises anymore. It's also about the quality of leadership. And that is why I said for the first time in this show, I agree with Mheshimiwa, that it's also really about vision, it's about competence, it's about values, all right, that the people will want to see in you, all right? And I can give examples because I am heavily engaged
in 1 minute,
qua ground. And people are saying that, fine, even if you're talking about a road, don't just tell us that you've done a road. We also want to know how much it has costed. We also want to know how the contractor was engaged. We also want to know how much would a similar road cost in Uganda or cost in another region. Don't tell us that it's about affordable housing. We also want to know what is the process towards it. What is the process of how did you engage Kenyans to make sure that you're getting this housing levy contribution?
Yes.
And is it working for them? Is it a priority for them? So it's not just about the outcome. It's also about the process. And that is why I want to agree with that particular Kenyan, that Kenyans are now very woke. Kenyans are very empowered. They'll be able to ask these very difficult questions.
Thank you. Frank.
Yes.
Hey, wewe pia mheshimiwa, ambia waheshimiwa wote wa Kenya wameamka.
I've just said that Kenyans were not the same 5 years ago. They are not the same today. They will not be the same tomorrow, even next year. They are more informed. They are more glued to what the Constitution gives them. And I pray that they continue reading this Constitution so that when these waheshimiwas go to the ground to seek for their mandate, Mwananchi knows exactly what they want. And they will be able to pick whoever fits in the category of what the Constitution has given them. So I agree with whoever has given that feedback, that Kenyans are not the same. Kenyans are more informed. Kenyans are looking forward to delivery of services, not just people who want to enrich themselves.
Umami.
Yes.
Wakenya wameamka?
No, not now. Waliamka kitambo. Kenyans are good, by the way. Kenyans are good, and you cannot underrate Kenyans. Kenyans are the good, if you want a good testimony, you can go to get it from one of the utterances of our neighboring president of Tanzania. Said Kenya hawa akikuja hapa na hiyo mambo yao watarudi kwao, because we enjoy a lot of freedom here in Kenya. We enjoy a lot of freedom. That's a fact. Such narrative you cannot see them in our neighboring country like Uganda, like Tanzania too. You can't. But we enjoy this freedom. We put our leaders on check freely. Kenyans are good. And leaders respond positively when they are put on check. So Kenyans are good. They are not awakened now. They have been there before.
Yeah.
But with this constitution, Kenyans are showing leadership direction properly. And I want to support them too. And I am very sure coming 2027, they will not just elect people, they will elect people who have made a record on development. That is the thing.
Mheshimiwa, as you respond to that, okay, this is a direct message to you from a lady called Sylvia. I will read it. Respond.
I want to say that I want to disagree with my friend Dr. Antony Gitonga. They're trying to use an example of Oloo as a basis of saying Kenyans wameamuka is quite unfortunate because all these Kenyans who are viewing us know that the tribalistic connotation and foundation of the denominator was, on the tribal line. So that is not the conversation we'll be talking about. What Kenyans are, and maybe I encourage you, Antony, if you are really a doctor, if you are thinking of really taking over from Nzoia, you must have a better perspective in terms of Kenyans now will be basing and viewing everything from the perspective of where do you want to take us? This is where we are, and I agree on a few other things that is mentioned, that now Kenyans are aware. If you are doing a road, by the way, it's also happening in my place. If you're doing a road, what was the process that was used? Was it fair? Was the resources equitably used? Was it optimized? So I agree. And Kenyans now...
Was the currency Kenyan?
Was the currency... And the lenses that will be used is as well as we get into the future and being the leaders, even in African continent, by the way, we are way ahead in terms of creating accountability in the leadership. I totally agree that the dynamics are changing and quite so fast so. And also the reason, one of the greatest citizens because of President William Samoei Ruto's way that he's been able to push this nation to the next level in terms of the foundation.
Thank
so
you.
I agree that the future is getting tighter and that is for the greater good of our generation.
I have a question. There's a request here.
Yes, please.
From a lady called Lida Lokawa.
Yes.
Naomba namba yao mheshimiwa.
Wow. Thank you.
I will give you my number. 07. Nimsome.
I'll give you my number.
But she should be fair. Hata sisi tunatafuta kazi ya wakili.
Oh, yeah.
So we are here also, we can...
To pitch.
Okay.
So since I've appointed him to be my lawyer, you can give out his number and then he can be able to reach out to me.
I'll give you. Sylvia, I'll text you Mheshimiwa's number. Whatever you do with that number, mimi siko hapo. All right. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Tumemaliza. I think that was a very good point to leave it. Political expectations and intentions. I believe that whichever position you are, you have good intentions for us. All right?
Absolutely.
And for the country.
And the reason why we keep doing these debates and engaging fiercely is because you want a better country.
That is true.
It's because all of us, we don't have another country.
That is true.
God wants a better Kenya for all of us.
All right. Are we going to have tea all together?
Yes.
Very
Good.
important.
So, Dr. Antony Gitonga, thank you so much for joining us, and we wish you all the best in Nzoia.
Absolutely.
Frank Nyamari, Advocate of the High Court, thank you so much for coming. And Wafula Mutacho, Chair for the Kenya Nzoia County, asante sana. And Saboti, we also wish the best.
Thank you.
All right, and Nandi Hills MP, Mheshimiwa Kitur, asante sana. And we also wish you the best. All right, that's where we take a break. GMK continues our list. Stay with us.